Hi everyone, it's great to be here presenting the Indiana story for the first time at the Resource Rising Stars, and thanks to the Reed corporate team for hosting us. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Indiana and some of the super high grade drill results we've had from our Minos Gold project and why we're so excited about the significant potential of this project. So Indiana, I would say it's in the strongest position that we've been in for a number of years. We're well funded. We've got an aggressive exploration program both underway and planned, and we're focused on driving growth throughout the Minos project and hopefully making some new discoveries along the way. Just let you read the disclaimer in your own time. So as Paul said, we're a South Australian gold explorer. We've got a dominant land position of over 5,000 square kilometres in the central Gawler Craton. I know you've heard about a couple of other juniors today that are talking about South Australia. It's great to see South Australia is getting on the map. I think there's some amazing prospectivity there. If these projects were in WA or a number of other states, they'd probably have a lot more drilling and exploration, and that's where we will see the potential. With Indiana, within our project area, we've got over 50 kilometres of the Lake Labyrinth Shear. It's a fertile gold shear. It's certainly very well endowed. We've got a number of our key gold prospects already on that shear, and we're stepping out and starting to test a number of those other targets. And beyond that, within the property, we're seeing we've got there's rare earth potential, titanium potential, base metal potential, specialty metals. So it's a really exciting project in itself, and the opportunity is vast. As Paul said, we're well funded. I'll talk about that in a minute. We've got $37 million in cash. We've got an aggressive exploration program, both planned and underway right now. We've got a lot of assay results pending. Again, I'll talk about that shortly. And so there's lots of news flow coming out for Indiana. So just quickly on our corporate side, we've got just over 640 million shares on issue. The share price, it's a little bit higher than when I published this prezzo, so it's about $27 million cash market cap. You can see there our cash is significantly higher. For those of you that may be familiar with Indiana, we did have a project in Tanzania. It was a nickel project. We've lost that since then, and we settled with the Tanzanian government. That cash represents the balance of a settlement. We've returned over $60 million to shareholders in the last 12 months. So it's two capital returns of 5 cents each. So we've got a lot of very, very, very happy shareholders, and now they're excited to see what we're going to do with our gold project. The board and management certainly got a great balance between technical and corporate. Bronwyn, the chairperson, certainly led a lot of that activity in Tanzania, and now has brought me in as MD to really unlock the value of Indiana from a gold exploration side. We're building out the team. We're supported by two key consultants, Barry Bourne, Simon Bolster. I've worked with both of these guys before. They're both big company, Barrick, Newmont. They've been involved in a number of discoveries before. They know what big discoveries look like, so we're really gearing up that team. Tony Rudd, our exploration manager, is based in Adelaide. I've known Tony, Tony and I have crossed paths a number of times over many, many years, so it's really building that team out. And as you can see there, the top 20 hold about 50% of the register, so it's pretty tightly held. So as Paul said, we're in the central Gawler Craton of South Australia. It's a highly prospective region. Geologically, it's really exciting. It already hosts a number of key major deposits and mines, and we have over 5,000 square kilometres of ground there. It's pretty easy to get out to the project. It's about a 7-hour drive. It's supported by great infrastructure around the area. And you'll see there from where we are in the blue, we're in the centre of a rapidly emerging and growing gold district. We're surrounded by, in close proximity to the historic Challenger gold mine, Tunkilla, and then we're surrounding Barton Gold, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with as well. So just zooming on the project area, and I guess the two key things to get away from this area, and one of the focuses for us is that northwest-southeast trending Lake Labyrinth shear zone at the top there. That's a major fertile gold system. It hosts a number of our prospects, and that's really where we've been focusing our work. But if you look further to the south, you've got the Harris Greenstone Belt there, and the overall area has had mining activity since the early 1900s. There's a bunch of old shafts through there. There's a load of old workings. But more recently, there has not been the level of modern exploration and quite sparse drilling. So that's where we really see the opportunity. There's a number of targets through there. I'd probably say too many. And one of our challenges is prioritising those targets. And it's going through and sort of really building out that pipeline and continually sort of focusing on near-term opportunities around that Lake Labyrinth Shear, and then sort of like building that pipeline out as well, which is really more of a systematic process. Sometimes it's a bit challenging. It's a bit like sort of trying to pick your favourite child, because all the geos have got their favourite target and everyone's sort of arguing about which one we're going to drill next. And I think we're certainly in a great position that we can go and drill multiple targets with our cash position, so we can really attack this project pretty aggressively. But for us, the priority right now is the Lake Labyrinth Shear Zone. As I said, our project covers over 50 kilometres of strike. It's a major fertile gold-bearing system. These big shear zones, it's a big fluid highway. All the gold is carried through these shears and it drops out in those favourable structures. And the exciting thing is, you know, it's the big shear zones, and that's where you find the big deposits. And we can see that there's a lot of gold in this system by a number of the prospects we have there at Minos, and not just Minos, at Ariadne, Company Well, and it's delivering some fantastic results. So in some ways it is quite difficult, and I can see why in the past we've struggled to sort of step out and look at some other targets there. But given the opportunity we have now, we can really sort of aggressively explore this overall area, and we believe unlock some real value for shareholders. And this is just an example of some of the high-grade results that we're delivering, both from surface at Minos, so some really high-grade results, some shallow results. We've drilled the project down in certain areas down to 350 metres. We're still hitting high-grade at depth, and that's really exciting when you're looking at sort of, is this going to be a larger open pit, or is it going to be a small sort of underground sort of high-grade opportunity? And that's why we're drilling the project so aggressively, not just at Minos, but some of the other projects there to really sort of grow that footprint. And you can see there Ariadne and then area down where we're starting to do some work. So there's a number of these targets that are delivering good results. So this is just a plan view at the moment of Minos. So Minos is currently defined over 650 metres of strike. You can see it's trending on that northwest-southeast sort of trend, which is in that shear zone. As I said, it's drilled down to, in some areas, about 350 metres. It's about between 50 to 150 metres wide. And it's open. It's open on that northwest-southeast trend and at depth. So we can really see this continue to grow. But we're looking at, I'll show you on the next slide, but we're starting to look at sort of other opportunities in that area as well. And this is looking at Minos and Ariadne in a long section here, and you'll see the drilling. Not only that, well, I guess the two things there is the limitation of drilling around those resources. They are very much open. They're so open along strike and at depth. And certainly with Minos to the northwest there's a high-grade zone which we're drilling, well, we have been drilling, we're waiting for some assays and all that. I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But the thing is, what we're trying to demonstrate is the Minos Gold Project is just more than the Minos prospect. We have the Minos prospect, we have Ariadne, which we're now showing on this section. I'll talk about Company Well in a moment. And these are just three prospects within that overall shear zone. And this is how we're growing the project. We recently undertook and announced a really successful calcrete sampling program. We came back with a number of very high order anomalies. We've got a major 5,000 metre air core program. It's about to go and sort of hit some of those targets really, really hard. We're already talking about following that up with an RC program, obviously subject to the results from the air core, but we have a lot of confidence this is going to start to deliver. And you'll see there you've got the major shear zone running that northwest, southeast, and then on the mag there it's quite disrupted where Company Well is, and that's pretty exciting. There's obviously something going on there, and that's what we're looking at following up on. So what are we doing right now? There's a lot going on. We're waiting for about 8,000 metres of assay results. It has taken a little bit longer than we would have liked due to a number of logistical matters, which we hope we have now resolved, and we expect to get some results in the next week or so. That's both from RC drilling, extensional drilling at Minos along strike and at depth, and then also some diamond drilling as well. The diamond core's been cut, that's now being sent for assay, so we expect to get the RC results through shortly, and then that'll be followed up by the diamond. We've got some further calcrete sampling results from Ariadne and Company well, and then, as I said, we're sort of planning to start a 5,000 metre air core program and then a follow-up RC program later in the year. And then the targeting side, I spoke about before about sort of really highlighting the pipeline, and this is really important for us because it's delivering sort of near-term results to the market, growing those projects around Minos, but sort of looking at what other targets we can start to test. We flew a big aeromag program over 3 areas. That's being interpreted at the moment with some of our structural consultants, and we look forward to releasing the results on that, and that's, we believe, what's going to lead to some further targets as well. So it's really about building that pipeline out. And then also looking forward more, I know it's been spoken about recently, over the last couple of days, is access to ground. This is it's across the industry, not just in South Australia, but in Western Australia, Queensland, and New South Wales and Victoria. So we have consultants that engage with the traditional owners. We engage directly with the traditional owners. We've got access agreements in place with some of those groups, which is why we can do work on the ground now. But it's front-running that long process, and by engaging now, we can be in a position that when we want to go and drill new targets, we've already had those discussions in place and hopefully won't impact our exploration. So the investment highlights. Look, I guess, why would you invest in Indiana? Well, I think, from a leverage point of view, it's fantastic. As I said, our market cap's sort of sitting at 25. We've got a much stronger cash position. We've got a dominant land position in the central Gawler of South Australia. We're really excited about the Lake Labyrinth shear. I mean, over 50 k's, so that's a fantastic sort of opportunity for us. We think that there's, the potential for finding a big deposit there is significant. We've got multiple other targets. We're not trying to be distracted by some of those other targets. Really, the focus is on gold right now. The gold price is hot. I believe it's going to keep getting hotter. So we really want to accelerate our growth and sort of convert Minos, take that to the next step. So start to sort of work towards resources on those things and grow that footprint a lot harder. And we're well funded to do that. We're not going to be coming back to the market. We're not going to be hitting you guys up for cash for the next placement. And we've got the funding in place to execute the programs that we want to execute to really unlock the value here. So that's part of the reason I got involved with this company. I've only been with the company for about sort of 6-8 weeks, and I see some huge opportunity here, which is why I'm so excited about Indiana. Our booth's just around the corner. I only had 15 minutes, and I think I've pretty much nailed the time, which is fantastic. And so please, if you want to come and have a chat to me about Indiana, both myself and our COO, John Fitzgerald, are there. So please come and have a chat, and look forward to talking to you about Indiana. Thank you.